Woo-wee, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. I'm a bit messy because I was just in the shop working on my cold steel Wild West buoy. As you can see, this thing gets used a lot. This thing gets punished a little bit. And I bet you're wondering why the color is so different. You can see the guard is different. Obviously, I shaved the guard, gave it some rounded edges. It's on there. You can hear I got a little rattle in there. I was thinking about just gluing it, but I don't care. It's just a little rattle. So you got the D-bad with the sand my line already in there, and you can see that I decorated the spine. So I gave it a really cool, just nice. It makes it cool looking. I don't know. I just like the spine, but I did the same thing down here on the grip. I took away some of the material, especially around here on these hard edges, and just made it fit so much nicer in the hand. And then these little guys right here just give it so much better grip. This thing, I really liked it before, but it was just not that comfortable. Man, now this thing is crazy comfortable. And without that big S card, I can get it around and do all kinds of different things. And it's a lot like that S guard that I did. So when I customized this one, I gave it all new scales, did everything. It's very similar to that. This is the Szco high carbon buoy. This feels just amazing in the hand. I love customizing these. But when I was down there, it made me start thinking, because I'm doing a whole series of knives that you can EDC, different kinds of knives, and I have like a couple sets of 4 that I have to go through, and then I started thinking about, what about Western style buoys? What about a Western style buoy you can EDC? And while I can add this one, I'm not gonna, because it's just a little bit longer than the rest. Like if I was gonna compare it to this one, you see immediately it's just big. And then if I go belt loop to belt loop, you see how long it hangs. When you're talking about EDC, you don't want something that's going to be just all the way down your leg. So I'm not going to count this one in the EDC. Look at that, man. It looks so much better. I love the spine. That spine looks crazy cool. That looks crazy cool. It's nice. But I'm not going to count this one. Wanted to show you guys what I've been doing with it, because I use this one constantly. This is probably one of my most used knives, especially in the winter, because this is my fireplace knife. I baton with this and make kindling with this constantly through the winter. I might end up using it also as a throwing buoy. I haven't decided yet. Now that it's got some rattle in the guard, I really don't care. But so let's get into 4 Western style buoys that you can EDC. And some of them will hang lower than others, but not as bad as that. Like this one right here is going to hang the lowest of all of them, but nowhere near the cold steel. So this is probably as low as it goes for me. But let's get into four Western buoys you can EDC. And the first one, we're going to start with the first one I showed. This is the Szco high carbon buoy. They do sell it in a stainless configuration. This is the high carbon one. The blade, I sanded down to give it that brushed look. This had a big S guard on it. I took that down. It had plain wood scales that were 3 pins. Now it's 2 pins, and I did a full custom grip on that. And I have to say that without you holding it in your hand, it's hard to describe like how really good this thing feels in the hand. But as far as an all-around, get it done, do the dirty work type of knife, there's no wiggle in this one. This knife, you can find these for under 25 bucks all day long, and sometimes you can find them for under 20. I've seen them as low as $15, and these are just bangers, bangers, bangers. You can see the edge just looks great on that, and this is This is a user knife right here. I freaking love it. I always have one. Ever since I was in high school, I've had one, and I think this is only my second or third one. I remember one time I was hiking with a buddy, and I had one, and we set up a picnic table, and we were doing knife throws, and I threw my Szco, and it, boom, into a nail, a round nail, and stuck through the tip of the nail into the table, and didn't break my knife. And whew, because when I was in high school, $15 was a little different than now. But this thing is just all around great. The sheaths are hit or miss. You can, like, this one is one of the better sheaths that it comes with. It does come with a worse sheath, but because it is what it is, you can find sheaths for these knives anywhere online. You just measure the blade out Western style, and you can find all kinds of sheaths. This one, obviously, completely customized. It is just great. It hangs at a spot where it's not too low, and it just wears well. The fact that you can use it for anything, anytime, all the time, just makes it a really great multi-purpose knife. It is an amazing camp knife. And for the money, let's say you lost it, who cares? You buy another one. But I've literally had one of these in my possession, and this is either my second or third, literally, since high school. A lot like that Schrade Sharp Finger. I've had one ever since high school. It's just, this knife, it speaks to me. There's something about this knife that is just freaking awesome. I love the Western style, obviously, with this being in my top 3 all-time favorite knives. But this guy right here, I can highly, and I mean highly, recommend to anyone the Szco High Carbon Bowie. Fan-frickin-tastic. So outside of that, we'll do a hold them all up together. We'll show this one because I just showed it. This is the one that hangs the lowest of the bunch. Some people like it, but even for those who like a blade that hangs low, this one isn't as crazy as some of the other ones like we saw with the Cold Steel. This is the Hen and Rooster version. Now, I know there's probably the Hen and Rooster. Oh, it does have it. I think it's kind of hard to read in this light. What is it, 507 or something? I'll definitely look that up a little better. It's really hard to see. And right there, I think it is. It's backwards to me, 5007, made in Spain. But this is the Hen and Rooster, and I have to say that as far as stag handles are concerned, even round, it has this little ridge right here, and it's really hard to pick out, but the ridge keeps it from being all the way round. So it gives it kind of a peak, and it folds right into this part of your finger and just locks on. Right-handed, left-handed, doesn't matter. Even though this one's made right-handed, and the way that, what I mean by that, you're thinking it's round. How is it made right-handed? It has a slight curve to it, and the curve benefits a right-handed person. It's supposed to, but on a lefty, I feel it's even better because it comes into the palm, and it's just awesome. Now, this is basically the stag version of the case, right? Hen and Rooster and case are so close, but it's made to be pretty much the same thing. I mean, looks just like it, and it's not just beautiful, but Hen and Rooster makes a crazy sharp knife. They're just fan-frickin-tastic. The brown sheath on this, the leather is just beautiful. It's really well done. Great sheath. You can see the Hen and Rooster on there. They do a fantastic job all the way around. But this knife, remember, all Bowies are fighting knives first. When you put something like this in your hand, you feel it. You feel it. And it is pinned all the way at the end. So the tang does come all the way through and then pins at the end. It is done very well. I have to say I'm extremely impressed. I don't usually like stag handles because they're generally just burn throughs with glue, and you have to worry about impact is going to eventually just crack that glue up and it's going to come off. I've used this knife, obviously you can see by the scratches in it, a pretty good amount, and I have to say I've never had any problems. There's no shaking, no loosening. This knife has just been freaking tastic. And it's just gorgeous, man. That is one, and it's real stag too. That is one beautiful freaking knife. Beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, we're going to get to the only one with a different handle. Oh, the Condor Undertaker. This one is, as far as full-bellied Western style Bowies, this thing is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. The only thing that's wrong with this knife is the fact that it has the straight coffin, and it does, you can see, flare out just a little bit. Right here it comes in and then comes out, but it's almost not enough. But it's very true to the style of the Old West, where they would make a lot of knives like this. James Black was famous. Bowies brothers were famous for it. Resin, for making these straight handles, these coffin styles. It was just easy because it was easy to grind this part and make it so you can put it in the hand without cutting your hand up on burrs. So it was really hard to make a lot of contouring back then. So people that are just in their shops were making these straight handles. And the only problem with it is you can end up losing the knife in a good swing. But it's really good, man. You can see this color on here. You know what that is? That's just from being frozen. It's really cold in here. This has been now a little over a week. In Massachusetts, our furnace cracked, so we have no heat in the house. That shh behind you is just a little tiny fan blowing some heat, and it's not working. We see our breath in the house. That's crazy. But this right here, speaking of crazy, is crazy cool. The Condor Undertaker, made in El Salvador. Just done so freaking well. It's a really, really nice knife. If you can get by the slick handle, then I'll tell you what, you would love this freaking blade, and it wears well. And like the Hen and Rooster, very, very nice sheath. Very, very nice sheath. They do a great job on this. It just looks beautiful. Just not much not to love there. So the last one of the four, I just kind of gave you guys a peekaboo. Nicest sheath of all. This is the Case XX Bowie. And look at this finish on this, right? Now, you'd say, oh my God, he never uses that knife. This thing is sitting around the house. I not only have done multiple hard use videos on this knife, not one like it, I didn't switch it out, but this very, very knife I have done, look at nothing moves, nothing wiggles. I have done hard use videos. What I did when I got this, I wanted to prove the edge, how good this edge was and how good of a knife this was, like just all around. I went 7 months where I did it 1 day a month, where I took this thing out and just used it. Multiple camp outings in 7 months straight of use. Boop, 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 boop. Where I did it, and then I did a video after 7 months of use, and it still looks like this. The polish that they do on this, you can see the not the cracks, but the scratches in there. They're in there. But the polish is so good on this one and the Hen and Rooster that even after using it, it holds up just beautifully. I think, in my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful knives ever made. This was one of my, between this and an actual Muso, which I finally designed and had made, a real Muso, just with a better grip. My Grail knives. This was a Grail knife for me. I didn't just want it, but I needed it. I needed to have this knife. When I finally pulled the trigger, I got it in. It was like, it was one of those, man. It's just putting it in my hand for the first time. And this is one of the most snug grips you'll ever feel. It's almost too small for someone my size. But it just gets it in there. It's over 3.5 inches on the inside, which when you have a 4-inch palm, doesn't seem like I'd be able to use it, but because the palm sits here and your fingers taper in, so obviously you see this is one width, this is a completely different width, right? 4.5, and then it tapers down. So when your fingers are pushed in, it gets it to 3.5 on me. For a lot of you, you're not going to have hands my size, and your fingers are going to fit perfectly right in there. Look at this. So if I go from there, my fingers will fit, right? Now I close my grip in it, and I have it. So the grip is almost pulling the edge inside. So when you're having, it's a natural fighting knife hold. So I'm this way. It pulls it. It pulls it. Instead of holding it this way, it naturally wants to hold it this way, which is canted just a little bit. That extra 15 degrees in a fight, that's exactly how you'd want it. And that's where you would hold it anyway. So the grip, while it is small for your camp grip, which is here, even though obviously you could see I'm still working it, right? It is really, really, as far as Western style Bowies, this has the best fighting grip of all of them that I've ever felt. It's, look at this blade, man. All the use that's gone into this thing. And I'm talking, I guarantee you, like Scab with the D-Bad Preacher, Scab has used his D-Bad Preacher more than anybody's ever used a D-Bad Preacher, including myself, who designed the damn thing. I guarantee you, nobody has used their Case XX presentation Bowie more than I have. This thing is an absolute beast. What we need to do is we need to get all 4 out. This is going to be a little trickier than the other knives because of the series so far. These are the biggest. These are the biggest ones of the series, the biggest 4. So holding these 4 together is going to be a pain in the nuggets, but we're going to get through it because this is what you pay me the big money for. All right, so let's try and figure out a way to get all 4 held up at the same time without cutting off any body parts. Oh my goodness, tell me if that lineup isn't literally as good as it gets. I mean, that is as good as it gets when you're talking about beauty is the beast. I mean, you can see the grinds are completely different from these two to these two. Even the shape is different, but holy Moses. So you're working from Frankenstein over, because it's backwards, I don't want to say right to left. You're looking at the Szco high carbon Bowie, you're looking at the Condor, you're looking at the Case and the Hen and Rooster. Now, just real quick, I want to show you how exactly close these two are. They are extremely similar. I believe the Case is slightly longer. It is. It's about a ½ inch longer. But the blade shape for blade shape is almost exactly the same. The polish is pretty much the same. The grind is wider on the Hen and Rooster, which I never really noticed before until just now. But you can see how really, really close they are. Similar style guards. Just amazing, amazing, immaculate pieces. If you can get yourself one of these, grab one now because there's not a lot left. They do have another style where the handle is just slightly different with the same blade, or they have one with the handle that's similar but a black blade. I'm not sure, but I know that they're still out there. You can try and eBay them, whatever, but if you can find one of these, this is 100% definitely worth searching for. If you have the money to grab one of these, it's worth it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's worth it. Bone handle. This is some kind of like acrylic handle that just works. Obviously a wooden handle, and this handle originally starts out more like this handle before anybody does any changing and altering. I have to say that I nailed it on this grip. I absolutely nailed it on this grip. It is so comfortable and so done right. And all those little notches, no matter what position or how I hold this, my finger meat, my hand meat locks into these little notches. And that's why I did what I did with this, with those little notches in there. I just wanted to be able to get more handhold inside those notches. So that's it for this one. This blade shape is obviously the one blade shape that's slightly different from the others, but you got to remember that everybody thinks that this is like, they hear the Western 49, they say, oh, well, this blade style was invented in 1849. Well, that's not true. I've seen examples of this blade shape going back to the 1600s. It was popularized in the 1800s in America. So, I mean, but it's literally, the blade design itself has been pretty much global for a very long time. Oh, man, just awesome. But if you want some great ones. But if you are in a state where you are allowed to EDC a big knife, tell you what, you can't go wrong with any of these. If you carry this thing, people are going to look at you like you are high class because they know what this is. This is just beautiful. I don't care what they say. But I'll tell you, whoo, can't go wrong. All right, that's it for this one. Hi, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.